AFTV Turkish, I'm glad to see you smiling. I know you said the other day that these sort of games in the Premier League don't really mean much to you because, you're more focused here, win the FA Cup and what. But even you must have been very infused by the performance, looking ahead for next season, looking ahead for the future, to see that in that team.
It's to see that from that manager more so than that team, because that team still needs to change. But I don't want to start on a negative, because that performance was one of our best away performances in the last few years. Like, it reminded me of the Valencia-Napoli away performances last year, where we managed the game from the get-go until the 90th minute. Done very well to counter and nullify their threats. I know Traore caused us a bit of issues, more so early on in the first half and early on in the second half than the other sides of the game. But the performance is something that makes me believe more in Arteta. I've always liked what he said since he's come to the club in all his press conferences, and I've liked him recently putting more pressure on the board with the transfer window around the corner. But he's working with scraps right now, I'm going to be honest. And to pull out that performance, to pull out that win against a very solid Wolves side, against one of the most informed teams in the league right now, is definitely a positive. So as much as I am the negative one or the real one, and many people want to look at me like they want to look at me, I think that performance is a shining light for the future in terms of what Arteta can bring.
What do you think? What do you think he's doing that is getting the best out of these players? Because it's the same players, and obviously, take out those last two games when we lost the first two games, but really, since he's come in, he is getting the best out of what he's got, isn't he? How's he doing it?
I think it's that more individual approach. I think there's managers out there that look at the team and make decisions based off the whole team and the whole squad. Whereas with Arteta, I feel like he's taken that Pep approach, where he'll pull players to the side and he'll make sure they work individually on what they need to work on, so he can fully focus on the team itself and make sure that's ticking the way it should. I feel like that goes a long way, especially in this day and age, in terms of management style. I mean, 10, 20 years ago, maybe a more rough manager, maybe a more Alex Ferguson type manager, where you cross him, that is it for you. There is no individual approach. Football's changed now. These young players need a manager that's going to put their arm around them a little bit, but push them at the same time. And I think at the moment, Arteta's got that right mix, especially with the young talent we have got coming through. Because we have put the young talent in a position this season where there's a whole lot of pressure been put on them. So hopefully moving into next season, that young talent, some of them can take a step back, and we do bring in the players we need to bring in for the first team, so they can continue to develop a bit more behind the scenes. Because this season has been so topsy-turvy, Rob, that I think that this performance alone so far, it's been the best all season we've seen.
And Arteta, is he the guy, if he does get those players, if he does get the budget, for you, from what you've seen so far, is he a guy that can take us very far?
From more what I've heard than seen so far, it's very difficult to judge from what I've seen because he's working with scraps. But from what I've heard, definitely, I feel like he's got the right mentality coming in. I think he says all the right things. He came in at a turbulent time between the fans and the players, and he's managed to mend that. He's managed to come over that now, and moving into this summer, he's got full focus on the playing squad and what he needs to do moving forward. And what I mean by what I've heard is that over the last few weeks, he's continually emphasized what Klopp's done at Liverpool, continually emphasized how he's done it with the philosophy, the club structure, correct recruitment, clear messages from top to bottom. He's directing all of that onto the correct people, which is Kroenke, which is Raul, which is Vinay. So hopefully now, like the Liverpool board believed in Jurgen Klopp, the Arsenal board can believe in Mikel Arteta now.
You've got to back him, haven't they?
They've got to back him, Rob. They've got to back him, because this performance, as much as it is a great performance in isolation, like I said, we had that at Valencia last season. We had that at Napoli last season. And look how we started this season. We didn't build on those performances. Same way 5 years ago, we beat City away. We didn't build on that performance. So it's about building now. We've seen something with that performance that indicates Arteta knows what he's doing, and he can work with the scraps if need be. But moving forward, with FFP being relaxed, I'm going to continually bang on about that point, because it's only this season that FFP has been relaxed. It's time for this board to rewrite the wrongs that they've done over the last decade, because it's there for them to do now.
All right. Thank you very much, Ron.